What's up, everyone? It's GG Sober Sun here. Here is the 24-hour day reading for January 28th. For those of you that may not have time to sit down and read it, I'll read it to you. And yeah, today I'm not going to do the book in front of the face thing because I think it affects the sound some. So you just get the Kilroy effect, kind of. There's the nose. All right. But still, I maintain my anonymity. How about that? All right. So, here we go with January 28th, AA Thought for the Day. What a load hangovers put on your shoulders. What terrible physical punishment we've all been through. The pounding headaches and the jumpy nerves and the shakes and the jitters, the hot and the cold sweats. When you come into AA and stop drinking, that terrible load of hangovers falls off your shoulders. What a load remorse puts on your shoulder. What terrible mental punishment we've all been through, ashamed of things you've said and done. Afraid to face people because of what they might think of you. Afraid of the consequences of what you did when you were drunk. What an awful beating the mind takes. When you come into AA, that terrible load of remorse falls off your shoulders. Have I gotten rid of these loads of hangovers and remorse? Oh my gosh, this is one of my... I think probably the stupidest question I've ever been asked is, do you know what you did last night? And when I really think about it, it still gives me the shivers. Like, it's like, okay, so say I do remember. I probably don't want to remember. If you've got to ask me, do you know what you did last night? And if I don't remember, God, I don't want to know, probably, So, and that's one of those, I've heard, and I've used the phrase a lot, like there's a lot of things in my story that haven't happened yet, right? Like I never lost a job because of my drinking yet. I never got a DUI yet. I never got arrested, public intoxication or something like that yet, right? Those are yets. I don't want the agains in many cases, and that one of those is that remorse from the shame, fear, guilt, and remorse of things that I've done or may have done the night before. I didn't black out a lot. It started to happen quite a bit toward the end, but man, I don't want those again. I don't want the blackouts again. So, on to the meditation. Meditation for the day. When you seek to follow the way of the Spirit, it frequently means a complete reversal of the way of the world that you had previously followed. But it is a reversal that leads to happiness and peace. Do the aims of ambitions that a person usually strives for bring peace? Do the world's awards bring heart rest and happiness? Or do they turn to ashes in the mouth? The wording is kind of weird on that, but I get it. I get it, though. It's like when I came into AA, I was told, keep coming back. You'll have a life beyond your wildest dreams. And I get choked up when I start thinking about this because the things, and I had somebody write or tell me I would say the first 6 months, within my first year, sometime within my first year of sobriety, after a meeting, it was sort of the parking lot meeting, said, make a list of things that you think you'd like to have in a year, at a year's sobriety? And I thought, okay, I don't think I actually made the list, but I really think it would have been all material type stuff, you know? I mean, oddly enough, I did have those things. You know, I had a nice car, I got a new car, a nice car. It was a big old, it was a big old, it was a minivan, but it was a big old minivan. It was a luxurious minivan. We had sold a house in England, and then I had another little runabout car with a jamming stereo and stuff like that. I mean, but that was nothing. Material stuff comes and goes, right? What I was given that was priceless in AA is a host of friends. What it talks about in working with others, you know, to see those help people help others, you know, those people get sober and those people help others, and just to be among people who are willing to share what I've come to understand the term is the language of the heart. You know, when I first came to AA at the age of 16, I wasn't sober. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about getting sober. I was a tag along with a good friend of mine, and I didn't know he went to AA. And he told me, "Hey, we can meet up later. You can come along." I was like, "All right, I'll go." You know, and I don't know what I was expecting, but they were it made me uncomfortable because they were doing this whole full disclosure thing because I was a new guy, right? That's what we do in AA. We focus on the new person and just let them know it's going to be all right, you know. And it's easy to get hung up into into you know, sounding like you're selling them AA. But these people were like, "This is me." And I was just like, "Hey, you don't have to do that for me." It made me uncomfortable. I was like, I thought they were doing it just for me, kind of thing. And then when I went back to AA for keeps in 1992, they were doing the same thing in the room there, you know. And to me, that to have a group of people where I can go and be authentic with, I mean, where the heck else do you get that? You know, we're all, the saying is, we're all here because we ain't all there, you know? And I dig that about you. That's a line from Jerry Maguire that I really like. You know, when he's like, "Help me, help you, help me, help you." And he's like, "You are hanging on by a very thin thread." And I dig that about you. And I dig that about people in AA. You know, you do get people from time to time that are like, I got it all figured out. Just listen to me and we're good to go." And it's like, that's boring. That's boring. It's not, having it all figured out is not, it's not the jam, you know? Just admitting that we're powerless over so much, most of the things in our life, you know, is more appealing to me. And that's a gift beyond my wildest dreams. And that's what it's talking about in here. When you seek to follow the way of the Spirit, it frequently means a complete reversal of the way of the world that you had previously followed. You know? Seek first, keep the main thing, and everything else will fall into place. All of the truly valuable things that I've been given in my life seem to be as little effort as just bending down and picking it up. It's like, oh, thank you. You know? And in hindsight, that's the way it looks. So, anyway, prayer for the day. I pray that I may not be weary, disillusioned, or disappointed. I pray that I may not put my trust in the ways of the world, but in the way of the Spirit. Ooh, I like that. Not in the ways of the world, but in the spirit. You know, there is a concept of God that says he's everywhere at once. He, she, it, whatever you want to call it. But I just refer to it, God as him. You're welcome to believe whatever you believe. But this concept is that he's everywhere at once. And some people think that, I don't know, would have us believe that God stops just outside our epidermis, right? And I believe that God permeates every fiber of my being, of every fiber of everybody's being. And so the people, and I've heard, and I love this, God with skin on. When I go to a meeting, I get to listen to God with skin on. You know, each person with their own experience of this spiritual walk, this human walk. The saying, I love it. You know, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I love that concept. It's true. This is just like an earth suit that I put on for a vapor, just a puff of time in the grand scheme of things. So anyway, I've gone on over 10 minutes. So I will summarize with that. Just as a reminder, look up, aim up, rise up. Have a great day, y'all.